Hello, everybody. I am Reginald Bullock, and we're here with Trey, and this is Just Living Life. I hope you've been watching us and looking at some of the other episodes and learning. We have fun doing it, so we're glad that you're here joining us, and we're about to do it again. What's up, Trey?
What's up, Reggie? How's everything with you, man?
All's good in the hood, man.
Hey, I understand that. As always, well, actually, I was about to lie. It's not always good, but at least end of the day, though, I try to at least sleep peacefully, knowing that the day's going at least somewhat productive. There's always a nice little journey, always some progression forward. So, I mean, I I do got a question for you, though.
What?
I do got a question because we always just living, right? But I think on the last couple episodes we've been talking about
Just living life.
just living life. I'm sorry, you have to be right. And so we've been talking about a lot of good things, but I don't think people really been getting us. You know what I'm saying? Like the fun aspect. So I got a question, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, but this is gonna be addressed to Reggie.
Uh-oh.
What's your hobbies? Like what are your hobbies, bro? Like what do you typically do? What makes Reggie Reggie
I got,
outside of the work?
I got a lot of hobbies. I mean,
Number one, start with your favorite hobby all time.
fishing, hiking, camping, martial arts, DJing.
Now we on the indoors. Okay, I was about to say you like outdoors a lot. Nice.
Oh, yard work. We talking
No.
about yard work. Exploring, traveling the world, learning new cultures, cooking, being a chef, be it on different fires. Of course, shooting pool. A lot of people,
Billiards.
yeah, billiards. 9 ball, 6 ball, 8 ball, straight pool. I even played snooker when I was overseas. So I have lots of hobbies, man. I won't say I enjoy reading, but I enjoy learning.
Okay.
So I enjoy discovering. So that's a good question, my hobby. What about your hobbies?
I like to keep it simple. I like to keep it simple, Reggie.
Mhm.
Y'all can see the shirt, so y'all already know where I'm going with this. If it ain't sports, I ain't with it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's my morning, noon, and night.
Yeah,
But
that's true.
yeah, it really is. But then outside of that too, I'm a big anime fan. Anime like Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball, all that good stuff. I actually did write my own anime, 5 seasons. I lost it. It was on a work computer. Stupid idea, by the way. You trying to keep your own work, do it on your own computer, please.
My second book is anime.
Really?
Yeah, The Horn and the Halo.
Oh yeah. I was saying,
Yeah.
like, but I want to have like a lot of action involved. Like it's like it would be about my life, but
Okay.
just kind of expressing what I've learned along the way, but put it in like an anime type form. So that's what anime is typically. So I mean, I just wanted to tell my own story, but like also it's cool to really look at anime, the action. I love that. I love TV and movies. By the way, I'm a big TV and movie type of guy.
So, do you recall some of the first anime?
When you say first animes,
I mean, I grew up on it, right? Speed Race.
so if you're talking about those, right? Then yeah, I watched that.
Yeah.
The
Speed Racer was anime.
wacky races,
Mhm.
you can consider that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like all the good cartoons back in the day. Yeah, like Yogi Bear and them even. Like, I don't think that's anime, but like it ain't anime, but it's right up there. I mean, to be fair,
Prince Planet was anime. You probably don't even know what that is.
no, I've never heard of it. But I'm gonna say this though: if we can't say that, like like some cartoons are anime, then I don't know about Speed Racer. Then like, I don't know if I'm gonna call Speed Racer anime person. I might just call that cartoons. Because I did think of that as anime, but like, it is also like a weird.
Oh, you think Road Runner is anime? I mean, Coyote and all that.
I did actually. I don't know cartoons. Yeah. I didn't think Speed Racer. Like it was a difference for me between like say Speed Racer and something like a Gundam Wing or whatever the case may be.
Got it.
So, but I do get
Pokemon.
Pokemon is anime actually.
Okay.
Pokemon is, but I understand why people might think it's like a cartoon because it is like animes are cartoons, but cartoons aren't animes.
But some of the anime now, man, is lifelike. I mean, it makes it look real.
Yeah, no, they are, and like they are actually. Fun fact: they are actually coming out with live action TV shows too of previous animes.
Okay.
So like something like One Piece that's on Netflix now. It's actually a pretty good show too. Like not just the actual cartoon, like the anime, but the live action one as well too. So again, that's it's a nice little anime. I mean, a little hobby.
I mean, they did it with Spider-Man, right?
Spider-Man, like
Spider-Man was a comic.
Yeah.
It became anime.
Yeah.
And now it's live action.
Yeah. Same with Batman, all the superhero movies,
Yep.
you got TV shows. Yeah. So I mean, anything TV movie related, that's my passion. Like that, I
So
love
your hobbies are anime, sports,
TV, which kind of blends in anime too.
Okay.
I got to say, I like cooking to a degree too.
What do you cook?
So like I love salmon. I love cooking shrimp and eggs, Jamaican flavored shrimp and eggs too, by the way.
What's that?
So like you throw a little you throw some Jamaican spices on the shrimp,
Okay,
and mix it in with the eggs too. I do want to put some grits in there.
Okay. You don't mix the grits in it.
I would
You cook the grits separate.
Well, yeah, you cook the grits separate, but you eat them mixed.
Yeah. Kind of like shrimp and grits.
Exactly.
Got it.
But like just a random just random stuff. I don't want to make it sound like I'm a chef, but like I do like trying different things here and there. So
because you got a lot of people watching, right?
Few people watching,
and some people may want to try to connect up with you, and they want to make sure you know how to cook, right?
I mean, if y'all want to see what I can do in the kitchen, by all means, go ahead.
We'll do a show in the kitchen one day. Yeah, I'll do some collard greens and some whatever.
Okay. All right. We'll see what we can come up with. with.
So what we're going to talk about today, besides with the hobby. So why did you say we want to talk about hobby?
Well, because I've actually, so long story short, how this came up was I've been talking with my aunt about people changing, right?
Okay.
And so I started to say, my belief is I don't believe people change. I think we adapt. And I think you can say, yeah, well, change is a form of adaptation or adaptation is a form of change, however you want to classify or however you want to structure that sentence. I don't think change is based on society. I think change is based on internal. So as a result, that's why I say people don't change. However,
you think change is based on internal,
yeah,
people don't change. You just kind of contradict yourself, right?
When you say that, because I mean, like external, like society makes people. I feel like people change because of society, but I think that's more so adaptation.
Some people change because of society. Other people change because of growth and evolution, and that's part of their journey.
So when do you think you should allow people to? Because I think there is a grace period between changing and learning. So like early on, I think you're learning, so you're not necessarily changing.
You're always learning.
Yeah, so I think there's a difference though between you like a kid versus when you're an adult. You're always learning, yes, but like there is a.
So I'm curious to see where you're going with this because you sound like you want to make a point.
Yeah, so
why that change is not necessarily change, but it's adaptation.
Because when you're changing, quote unquote, but I say when I say quote unquote, that's my adaptation.
Okay.
You're really basing that off society. You want to have an easier life. You don't want to go against this. You don't want to go against the grain. You want to go against this. You want to stay, I guess, you don't want to be in the limelight. So if you feel a certain way, society feels differently. Well, nowadays, anything can happen. Social media, you can get outed real quick. A lot of people can put you on blast. You might be viewed as a weirdo, whatever the case may be. Now, you're not thinking for yourself. You're not changing because you really feel this way. You're changing because of how society might view something.
And that's the cultural perspective, right?
Yeah.
Because all change is not cultural. Suppose when you were younger, you did a lot of things that you now wish you didn't do.
When you say younger, what age are you talking about?
High school.
I kind of say that's still like a kiddish. Like, do you agree or no? Because I do give like a little leniency to.
You a kid now?
No.
That's my point. Now versus high school.
Okay.
Yeah. So in high school, you may have done some things and hurt people, right? Deliberately, because you didn't know better, or to your point, it was a cultural norm, or it was the way you were raised, or you just didn't like somebody, and your level of maturity caused you to just be that person, or level of immaturity, lack of maturity, caused you to just be that kind of person, right? There's a lot of people that do stupid stuff because they just don't know better, right? And they haven't learned yet.
That's fair. The
differences between what they did and what they should have done. And now, hindsight 2020 in your 30s, ooh, I should have done that. Yeah, I really hurt that. I need to go call that person up and apologize for the Reggie back when he was 14, 15 years old, telling this girl that pink doesn't look good on her. And then for the rest of her life, she didn't wear pink. And then one day I saw her at a high school reunion. She said, "Do you realize I've never worn pink because of something you said back in high school?" And I apologized to her. And then I felt compelled to go out and buy a pink blouse, and mail it to her. And so my point is, I changed.
But I guess when I'm saying that, I know in high school, again, like you're a kid, so I feel like you are going to change because you don't necessarily think for yourself. At least I'm speaking for myself personally. I know I would regurgitate maybe something my parents said or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, you know what you've been trained to know.
Right. And then even still, like when I said those things, I kind of like in the back of my head, I'm like, it don't really feel right, but it's still going with what I've been taught and stuff like that. And eventually I guess came to the conclusion, no, I don't want to carry on that way. That's not how I want to portray myself.
And how did you come to that conclusion?
Because it was, again, something that I felt I kind of got to meet other people who, I guess I got more experience in the world, but I was able to come to my own conclusion. That's why I say I didn't change. I think as I got older, like once you kind of come to your own conclusions, I think that's what I mean by like, you're not changing, that you're kind of.
So what are you doing if you?
Initially, you're growing,
okay.
But then after that, once you're going to hit that point where you can think for yourself, which I don't think that's exactly at 17, 18 years old. Like 18, 19, I think that's where you start to think.
25, 27.
And that's why I say 18, 19, you start to think.
Right.
So that's why I say I give a little leeway into that. But 20, 21, that's when I say people don't officially you don't change anymore. Like that's kind of who you are. You kind of just adapt to society. Because it is tough.
But that's also kind of doing it without defining what change is. So what is change?
I feel like change is when you realize something needs to be done differently than what you've been doing. So you're going against your own norm. And it's not based on society saying, oh, well, if you don't do this, you're going to get like scorned. Or you don't do this, there's going to be consequences and repercussions. So like if I was told, okay, well, I'm not going to hang around this sort of person. And then later on, I come to the conclusion, no, I actually don't mind hanging around with this person. Like what I was taught, what I thought initially was wrong. It has nothing to do with society. That's change. That's why I say.
So can you change your mind?
You can. I haven't really, like, I don't think I've necessarily changed my perception per se. Like I think like even, okay, take for example, hustler versus being quote unquote lazy, right? Like, or maybe I know you said you don't necessarily like the word lazy. I haven't, like, I've adapted to hustling more.
Right.
But my natural, like, who I would rather be, I would rather kick back, relax, like, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I say I don't think people really changed. I've even analyzed myself. Like, I don't like reading. I never liked working out. I never liked detail-oriented stuff. I don't like detail-oriented stuff to this day. To this day, people, I don't like working out. Come on now. I mean, I got the hands working, but like you see the rest of the stuff, it's team skill. Like, so I don't think people really change. And I've analyzed myself. That's the reason why I said that. In addition to other people.
So, still looking at the word change, right? What about transformation? Is transformation change?
See, transform in what way? Because I think transform could be a facade too. So like you're not really changing. You just kind of putting on a front, which I don't know if that's change.
So you're giving change a lens from a trait perspective, it sounds like.
I guess, like, yeah.
So a butterfly transforms, right? From it's a caterpillar, then what is it? From a larva to a pupa, and then from a pupa to a caterpillar, and caterpillar to a butterfly, right?
Correct.
Is that change? Is that transformation? Or is that masking what it really is?
I think that's transformation, but I guess that might be a little different than what I guess I'm thinking.
That's my point about defining change.
So I guess, okay, so like more.
What about changing clothes?
More person.
Is changing clothes changing?
Adaptation, I guess. I don't know. Like I would say, like, I see where you're going with this. Like, it's just changing personality, changing like who you are, like changing what you believe in.
What about a drug dealer, gangbanger, turned preacher? Is he still a drug dealer, gangbanger, or is he a preacher? He's changed. He's embraced it. You know,
Has he changed though, or does he just not want to? I don't know. Like, has he just adapted to society? And would he like if drug dealing wasn't a problem, would he still do that? I guess.
well, what if he feels like that was his calling?
To drug dealing?
No.
Oh,
To be a preacher, and he answered the call. He felt the spirit, and therefore that's who he is. Remember, the two most important dates are the day you're born and the day you find out why.
Yeah.
And so when a person finds out why they're born and they embrace that passion of who they are as their purpose,
right?
Sometimes it requires you to change.
So, I mean, like, all right, so I do get that. Like, I do hear that. I do. I really do. Because, I mean, if someone, so we're talking about religion now.
No,
right?
we're talking about change.
Well, I'm saying,
because some people they just live in life.
In that instance, though, I have my own personal questions. Like, what are you? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you? Because is it
because they choose to?
Like, I guess okay.
And they want to, and they embrace that spirit and that energy.
Okay.
And that's their choice. The one thing that many of us have a hard time doing is allowing a person to be who they are without transposing our own beliefs on them. Like, if I don't believe in God and you do, then I got a problem because I don't think that you know what you're talking about because there is no God. Or if I believe in God and you don't, I have a problem with you because there is a God, and how dare you, you blast. And so as opposed to choice, and a person makes a change because that's their belief. They feel it. They really do feel it. They love the Lord, they love the Bible, they love the Spirit, and therefore they realize that all that other stuff that they was doing was negative. This is positive. They want to change from negative to positive. You saying that that's a front?
Possibly, because why do you want to change from negative? You've been doing negative for so long. Like, it's really hard for me to imagine, okay, you've been doing this for X amount of years, and now you just naturally want to stop. Reggie, I've been a basketball fan since I was knee-high to a grasshopper. Like, when I was 6 years old, ladies and gentlemen, I watched Kobe Bryant do a 360 dunk, and I was hooked. And before that, I was practicing basketball. I was dribbling the basketball since I was 4. So it's like I liked basketball. I loved basketball for the longest. I'd be hard-pressed to say, I don't like it no more. Like, that to me, that's like, why don't I like it no more? Because I think basketball is now trash, or I think there aren't any good lessons to learn. Like that. That's why I feel like change is like there's no societal pressure. It's not like, oh, society said basketball is bad, or it's not like it's unpopular. I think, oh, nah, I'm good. And I can't imagine that occurring. So like, I'm really having a hard time grasping.
So ladies and gentlemen, this is why this program is so awesome, right? So he's 31, I'm 61. We have two different perspectives. So he hasn't lived long enough to have gone through certain things to put him where I'm at, right? To have seen what you've seen. Like, it's like, I've been your age, you're not
right, exactly.
But the point is, I respect your journey, which is why I'm not slamming it or anything. I'm giving you different perspectives.
Right.
However, that change, it's going to happen to you. I'm not saying that you're going to, all of a sudden be behind the pulpit and, ladies and gentlemen, and you're going to be, preaching. But you will get up there and say, my son, forget not thy law, but thy heart, keep my commandments for little days and all that feature. So you know that scripture, right?
But it's like also going back, like we talked about, like I have like a Christian upbringing too. So there are some things that like I'm naturally going to know, or whatever the case may be.
But a person has the right to believe what they want to believe.
Yeah.
And their beliefs can cause them to change. I mean, I grew up with a lot of people in the hood who was doing a lot of bad things.
Let me ask you this though, because I was talking with some boys about this in the group chat.
All right.
So like, you know what I'm saying? We know what not to do.
Not always.
And, I mean,
I did some bad things growing up.
Did you know they were bad though?
No, I thought it was fun. Taking a 40 ounce
Allegedly.
after you finish drinking it
Allegedly.
and throwing it up against a brick wall just to hear the sound was like, like I can make that sound better. The next guy, you know, and so we didn't think it was bad.
Okay.
It was normal.
Okay.
It was a lot of stuff back there that was normal because it was normalized. It was what everybody did. So
how old were you at the time?
Anywhere between 12 and 18.
See, you're in that kid range for me still. That's that grace period I allow people to like say, okay, well, you think like kids we're dumb at that time, right? Like we do stupid stuff.
We explore.
Exactly. Perfect word. So like in that moment, I think you're still growing and you're still evolving.
I agree.
But like once you hit a certain age, we know right from wrong. Like
But what you're trying to say is that because that's your model. I mean, you played basketball, which is just a game, and you said you don't even like exercise, and now you want to run up and down.
That's different. That's different. That's completely different.
First, you don't want to exercise. Now you just want to run. What's with that? You want to like run up this way, this way, this way, this way. That's like that little rat on the rat wheel, right? So all you're doing is running back and forth, back and forth. I mean,
sliding. There's a whole bunch of stuff, Reggie, and there's a goal too. Like I don't like just running. Like running on the treadmill is stupid to me. Like running with a purpose. All right, now I got something. Like, and not a finish line. Like actual purpose, meaning I get to score, I get to embarrass you, I get to have fun, I get to socialize, I get to witness a whole bunch of good stuff on the court, maybe from the opposition.
Trash to somebody.
You know what I'm saying? Like I love that. So again, there's a lot to go with that.
And you think that at age 50 you're gonna be the same?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like now, in mobility wise, no.
So
but
now,
yeah.
President Barack Obama played basketball growing up. Loves basketball.
Sure, he talked trash the same way.
Became the president of the United States. Every now and then he had to take a moment out and play. Matter of fact, when I was with him in the summer of 2009, I think it was, or 8. What?
Pause. You said you was with him?
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. Slight flex. Go ahead.
Slight flex. Go ahead. I mean, I was the middleman between the Air Force and the Senate. He was with the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, but he was also running for president. I get a phone call on Friday at 5 o'clock. I'm in my office on Capitol Hill, right, saying, you know, Senator Obama wants to go to Colorado and go to NORAD and go to Peterson Air Force Base and go to the Air Force Academy. Right. And I'm like, oh, man, ain't running for president, right? And so I had to get all these clearances. Anyway, I get on the airplane Saturday, the next day, get over to Colorado, set it all up. So he shows up on Monday, and I was with him from the time he got there. I mean, I got hundreds of pictures with him. But the point is, we were at the Air Force Academy, and the basketball team gave him a jersey because they know he liked to play. And he looked at me and he was like, Reggie, do we have time to go play a game of horse? I'm like, no. It's like, you sure? I'm like, no. No, I scheduled this whole thing out, and to go play horse, Secret Service would have been looking at me like, Reggie, we haven't even cleared the basketball court. You know, all this. Anyway, he said to the basketball team, next time I come back, I'll play horse. So now, of course, he becomes the president of the United States. He probably played horse at the Air Force.
That's what I'm saying. I'm playing horse.
But he's changed. The basketball player that he was younger and in college, smoking cigarettes, doing the things he was doing. As the president of the United States, whole different responsibility. You know, if you get married and have children, right, you're gonna change.
That's adapting to me, brother. Like,
how many times have you been married and had children?
Well, no, I had not.
So how you gonna say that? Well, it's adapting to you. But the point is, you will change. Well, ask every father out there who has children and who's married. Have they adapted to their responsibilities as a husband and a father? Or have they changed? You got a friend who are now married with children. Have they adapted or have they changed? Have they? I mean, you the one that started. They've adapted. They've adapted to what?
They've adapted to life because I don't think like they don't want to do these things. They have to. Like I
Who
that's
doesn't want to be a good father?
oh no. So like do you want to? I guess what's a good example? What's something I've heard recently? Do you want to? Actually, it's gonna sound terrible, but like some of the complaints I do
You don't have
hear.
children, so
Yeah, I know. That's
say.
what I'm trying to use the examples I've heard. I guess. Would you rather go to your kids' play, or would you rather go to like I don't know, like for me it'd be like championship basketball game, something like that. Like for personally, I might want to go see the championship game, but adapting to though, you got to go see the kids play.
I mean,
you have to show them support.
Yeah, but if you have been working with your child for 6 months, all the time at home, getting them ready, practicing with them, and rehearsing with them, and all that. Now the play is there.
Mm-hmm.
This is the holy grail. This is the culmination of all of the hard work the whole family has been putting in the living room, in the kitchen, in the bedroom, backyard, in the car, and now the play is here. You want to tell the whole world to show up. You want your aunts and uncles and grandma and everybody else there. The hell with that championship game. This is the child. You want to be at this play.
Yeah, I hear that, but
and you will change. When you have children, you're like, yo, Reg, man, you can't hang out, man. I gotta go see my son. He got saxophone solo.
But are you saying no? You don't want to, or you can't? Like you have to do this. That's what I'm saying. Like
no, I want to be there for my children.
You want to be there as opposed to you.
Yeah.
So for the record, because like nowadays I can go to sleep. Like my phone accidentally died on me last night. So luckily,
phones don't accidentally die.
No, it did because I charged my phone, but my charger stopped working. So it was like
phones don't accidentally die.
The charger, it won't on me. That's all I'm trying to say, ladies and gentlemen. It won't on me, bro.
I'm going to say on national camera, my phone accidentally died.
My phone.
Let me see it accidentally die now. It can't do it. It's either charged or it's not. You either had the discipline to look at the level. Or
it was at 8% when I went to sleep. And but I'm charging it before I go to sleep though. Mm-hmm. So it didn't charge, like the charger literally, like it stopped working. And so I'm like, when I wake up, I normally have my alarm on, and I'm like, oh, I don't have this on. So I wake up at like 8:45. Normally I wake up around like 7:30. And luckily I was like, all right, well.
You relied on your device to wake you.
There's a little assistance, yeah.
Okay.
But like,
when it fails, you fail.
No, because I got up today for work. But I can go to sleep at 2, wake up at 8, so I can get like 5-6 hours and be.
What's your point though about?
No, that's what I was transitioning to. Can do that, so I would be able to hang out with you, Reggie. But
you can set your alarm.
No, because I know I can function on and have a good time, but because I want to be able to be a little bit more functional at my child's thing now, I have to do this. But I want to hang out with you. Well, and that's what I'm saying. I'm adapting.
You always have competing things against your time.
That's what I'm saying. I'm adapting and not changing. Like me changing, and at least in my mind, is I don't want to hang out with you no more.
Okay.
So that's why I'm saying, like, it's like you doing a 180. And I'm like,
what about when people have friends, right? And they grow up, and they grow apart or whatever, and they see each other and they're talking 2 different languages now, and somebody said, "You've changed." Trey, you've changed. You ever had that? Anybody say, "Trey, you've changed"? Anybody ever said that to you?
No, because I try to stay the same. I really, truly, like the goofy person that you see is the goofy person I've tried to be. I really hold on. I try my best to hold on to that.
But there are people who change.
Yeah, I mean, right? I see that too.
I mean, there are some people who used to be an asshole and they are no longer. And then there are some people who weren't and now they are assholes.
But why is that too, though? Like, I know, for example, I feel like sometimes.
All I'm saying, that's a change. Now, why they're that way, that's a whole different discussion.
But I guess that's my thing. I guess the why is the reason what separates the adaptation versus the change for me.
That's the whole therapy discussion or 10 sessions to figure that out about anybody. You know,
that's fair.
Why is anybody an asshole? That's therapy.
Yeah, nothing.
You know what I mean? You know a few.
Yeah.
They got issues. They need help. You don't have to be that way.
Yeah,
But they choose to be that way.
that is true.
And hopefully one day they will change.
You know what's crazy? So like the way you just ended that sentence is the exact way my aunt will like try to end the conversation when we're trying to transition. She was like, well, and hopefully, one day you will change. And I'm like,
Auntie, we on the same page.
I'll make sure to show her this.
I'm trying to do the same thing you're trying to do with him.
We talked about hobbies. I think that kind of also brought us into how are we living too, because it told us about what we like to do. Then let's see here. We talked about power, but before we talked about that, well, I mean, what else?
Change.
I don't know about that. You sure we changed? We talked about change.
Yeah, you talked about change. He talked about change.
Maybe I'm forgetting. My bad. I'm getting old nowadays, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize. No, we talked about change. But yeah, so no, we talked about change and then we ended off with power. I think that was a good little segment though.
Yeah.
And again, if y'all haven't been watching, all these episodes do kind of build on top of one another because we talked about building and expanding foundation. We didn't talk about intelligence and hustle. Oh, we talked about hustle, not intelligence.
But we talked about intelligence and hustle in a different episode.
Oh yeah, I just meant on this episode. We didn't like everything builds and expands upon one another. We're not talking about all the episodes,
right?
We will reference other ones. So I hope y'all are enjoying that. Even Reggie said something about cutting grass, and you saw my reaction is still
yard work. You're gonna do one day. You're gonna change. You're gonna move your arm.
I'm gonna adapt. Though there's one change. I promise there's one thing I will keep from youth to adulthood is I don't like yard work.
All right, I
don't. But I mean,
there's always tomorrow.
Not do yard work. But I think that's the perfect time though to end the segment. We can skip flowers today because you were talking about yard work too much. That's too close to yard work. I don't like flowers enough that much. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you all have a good one. But please, before you do that, hit that like button, subscribe. Tell anybody who's anyone about the show. If you want to leave a comment or two, we appreciate that. My name is Trey. This is Reggie. And you listen to Just Living Life. So I hope you all have a good one. Take care.
All right.